If you have ever felt like you're doing all the things on Instagram but not seeing the results you hope for, then this episode is for you. I see so many small businesses making the same simple mistakes on Instagram, and they're mistakes that are super easy to fix once you know what they are. So today I'm breaking down the 5 most common Instagram slip-ups that I see, why they might be holding you back, and most importantly, how you can turn things around. So if you want to spend less time second guessing your content and more time actually connecting with your audience, then keep listening. But before we dive in, as always, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to tune in to show up and be heard. I really appreciate you. This podcast exists to help women like you simplify your business and your life so that you can stop feeling so overwhelmed. I am your host, Becci McAvoy, owner and founder of Be Heard Socials, and I am an award-winning social media marketer and international speaker who specialises in content strategy and organic growth on social media. Through this podcast, as well as my own social media, email community, and my award-winning membership, the Boss Your Socials Club, my mission is to cut through the noise to make social media marketing accessible and easy to understand for businesses that can't afford to outsource or who don't have the teams required to implement most of the advice that is being given to them. So if you want to cut through the noise and BS and get practical, actionable advice tailored specifically to make social media marketing accessible and easy to understand, or if you want to be part of a supportive community where women entrepreneurs can feel connected and inspired to achieve their dreams, then keep listening because you are in the right place. To get more tips like the ones you hear in this podcast, make sure you join my email community through the link in the show notes. All right then, without further ado, let's get started with this week's episode. I am going to try to make this episode a really short and bite-sized with just some quick actionable tips that you can take away. Now, I say try, I am going to do it. I'm just a little bit nervous because, I mean, if you have listened for a while, you know that I like to talk. But I'm going to make it, I'm going to get straight to the point today. I'm going to give you some quick actions to go away with, because what I'd really love is for you to tune in, listen, take the actions, go and do some of them, and then let me know if you've made any of the changes. However, I've said that I'm going to make it nice and short and quick, which I am going to. But I do have a huge favour to ask before I get started, if you wouldn't mind. If you have been listening to Show Up and Be Heard for a while and you're enjoying the podcast, I get lots of lovely messages from people telling me how much they love the podcast. And I cannot tell you how much that means to me. Podcasts are a lot of work, they take a lot of effort, but I absolutely adore doing it. So knowing that it's actually having the impact I want it to have is absolutely brilliant. But I do have a little favour to ask. Please, would you mind taking a moment to leave me a review? Honestly, it would absolutely make my day. Reviews make such a difference. I know you hear people who do podcasts say this all the time, but they really do make such a difference. They help more small business owners like you find this podcast. And they also let me know that what I'm sharing is actually helpful. Like I said, that's what I love about getting the messages. Obviously that helps me as well, but I'd really love it if you could take time to leave me a review. So if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please leave me a review on there. You just have to scroll to the bottom of the show or the episode and it will give you the choice to leave 5 stars, because I'm assuming you're going to leave 5 stars and a lovely little comment. If you're listening on Spotify, I think you can actually comment on the episode. And you can also tap to review the show. It doesn't let you leave any comments with it, but you can review the show and give me 5 stars again. And I would really, really love that. And if you're listening on either of those platforms as well, I'd love you to do this too. But if you're listening on any other platform, or you just want to be extra kind and you want to go and leave a review over on Google as well, I would absolutely adore you. Honestly, it would mean the absolute world to me. Obviously, it would mean the world to me if you could hit that 5-star rating or leave a few words about what you love the most or how it helps you or anything you think about the show. I would just really, really appreciate it. And I'd really appreciate you. So yeah, that's my little plug over and done with. That's my favour over and done with. I'd really love it if you could leave me a review on Apple, Spotify or Google. It would honestly mean so much. So thank you for doing that. And now let's crack on with getting into the juicy detail. I will stay on track. I will keep this as short and sweet as I'm humanly capable of keeping it. And hopefully you can go away today with lots of actions for things you can do on your social media, or the mistakes that you might be making that you don't know that you're making, that you can stop making. So The very first most common thing that I see people doing on Instagram that is such a simple mistake to fix is having an unclear bio. Now, I have done a full episode on how to get your bio like bang on. I will link to that in the show notes. But one of the really key things about it is having it really clear. Your bio is the first thing that people see when they visit your profile. So it's really important that you get it right and you make the most of it and you really optimize it. You need to make sure that you're using all the features so that your profile is fully optimized. Like I said, from the profile photo to highlights, like all of them help in different ways. And like I said, I have got a full episode on this, which goes into more details if you want it. So I'll link to that in the show notes. But when you do this, it is far more likely when someone finds your page that they will also hit the follow button. Or if they hit the follow button, like they'll know what to expect and they won't hit the follow button and then maybe unfollow further down the line. So yeah, stop having those unclear bios and get your bio super, super clear. Here is 3 actions that you can take right now to be able to do that and make your bio a bit more clear. So the first one, make sure you tell people what you do and how you can help them. So you can do this in the description bit. So yeah, it sounds really obvious, but I see so many people not doing this. So make sure you tell people what you do and how you can help them. Like I said, you can do it in the description or you can maybe have a pinned post or whatever it might be, but make sure you do that. Also, make sure you tell people what to do next. So have some kind of strong call to action on there. Again, that could be a pinned post because people see that on your, whilst that's not specifically your bio, depending how much space you have in your bio, it is basically one of the first things people see, like they don't have to scroll down for it. Or you could have it in your description as well. And obviously you can include links on your bio as well. So, you can have a strong call to action to go and click a link to find out more about something. The call to action could be about people following you. It could be about people DMing you, whatever it is, make sure you tell people what to do next. So think about what your priorities are for social media and put a strong call to action in there. Tell them what you want them to do. And then the third one you could do on this is plan out any highlights you need, like how to buy, kind words, reviews, FAQs, all that kind of stuff. Have a look at your highlights and plan out ones that you need, whether they need a refresh, whether they need a change, and then block some time into your calendar to get that done. And that's a really 3 simple things that you can do, that you can go and have a look at your bio, check whether you're doing them, if you're not, then make those really quick changes. So tell people what you do and how you can help them. Make sure you tell people what to do next with a strong call to action, and plan out any highlights you need, like how to buy, reviews, kind words, FAQs, that kind of stuff. So yeah, stop having an unclear bio and make your bio nice and clear. Okay, so the second mistake I see people quite often making on Instagram, and this can be across the social media platforms actually, but especially on Instagram, is staying anonymous. So let me ask you a question. Are you guilty of hiding behind your business name and your logo? I get it if you are. So many people feel uncomfortable putting themselves out there, but the hard truth is that people buy from people. And I know we hear this a lot and it almost becomes one of those cliche things, but it is really, really true. By allowing your followers to get to know the face behind the business, you will help to build the all important know, like, and trust. And again, that's really important. So don't stay anonymous. Now, there are times there are reasons that you might want to use your logo as your profile photo, but I think most commonly the people that listen to this podcast and the people that I talk to, 9 times out of 10, I suggest a picture of you as your profile photo. So that is the first action that I'm going to give you. Make sure your profile picture is a head and shoulders photo of you. And if it's not, have a real clear reason to not have that. It looks better on the stories. It makes it more personal. It makes it more engaging. And it's like I said, 99% of the time with the audience that I speak to, it's a better thing to do. If you do keep your logo, then put your picture as one of your pin posts so that people can see your face somewhere on your profile. That is a way to overcome not having it as your profile photo. But like I said, I still argue it's important. There are a couple of occasions where I've advised people to stick with their logo. I can't give that advice generically on a podcast, but I do like, you think about when you look at all the stories dotted at the top of your feed, it's much more engaging and enticing and welcoming when it's somebody's picture and somebody's face. And also, if you only have it as a pinned post, once people follow you, they don't necessarily see a lot of your face. Like, it's nice again for you to continually remind them of your face. So make sure your profile picture is a head and shoulders photo of you. If you don't want to do that, there are other things that you can do, but be like, really challenge yourself on why you're not having a photo that is of you, or, you know, like some people, you know, like if you work in a duo, for example, of both of you or whatever it might be, but really challenge yourself as to why you don't want to do that. And like I said, there might be legitimate reasons, but 99% of the time I would advise that people do. The other action that you can take to stop staying anonymous is make sure your name field has your real name and some keywords in it. So this is the actual name field, not the description bit. You can put your full name in there if you want, or you could just have your first, so you could have your first and second name or just your first name, but make sure your name is in there so people know who they are talking to. If they want to message you, it's much nicer if people have got their name there. I always really like it when people have done it, because if people message me, I like to refer to them by name, and it's just a nicer way to, again, be more welcoming and engaging. Also drop some keywords in there because it is keyword searchable, but make sure you find space for your real name. And then third action on helping you avoid staying anonymous is to be brave and show your face on your grid or on stories, or both. So obviously we've spoken about having it as a profile photo, and I did speak a little bit about having it as a pin post, but regularly show your face. And it doesn't have to be constantly doing what I call talky stories, but just get people to see you and get to know you. And it's, again, it's building that know, like, and trust. So yeah, the second mistake I see is people stay way too anonymous. And with businesses, we need people to know who we are. And the three actions that you can take to overcome that, nice and simple: make sure your profile picture is a head and shoulders photo of you, make sure your name field has your real name and some keywords in it, and be brave and show your face on your grid or on your stories, or both, ideally both. Okay, so that is the second mistake that I see people making quite regularly that is so easy to overcome. The third one, and if you've listened for a while, I talk about this all the time, but I think it's worth repeating, is not engaging. So engagement is the lifeblood of Instagram. And with that, well, it's the lifeblood of social media, but it's the lifeblood of Instagram. And without it, you are just broadcasting. Engagement helps you build a closer relationship with your followers, and it helps you understand what they want and need from you too. Best of all, the algorithm loves engagement. The more you engage, the more people will see your posts. So the algorithm will respond to mutual engagement. And I've described it on previous episodes as a bit like a point system when people are engaging with you. And the best way to get engagement is to be engaging. So don't fall into the trap of not engaging. Now, obviously, I refer to this one quite a lot, but I do have a full podcast episode on what social media engagement actually is and how to do it. And so I will link to that in the show notes too. So if you want to know more about that to help me with my promise of keeping this like nice and simple and not going off on a tangent or a soapbox, I have been on that soapbox many times and I have a full episode on it. So I will link to it in the show notes. So here's some actions that you can take to help you overcome making the mistake of not engaging. The first one: decide how often you want to engage for and how long for each time. Now, I can't tell you, if you was to ask me how long you should do it for and how often, I would ask you about 10 questions back. It's not a blanket answer, despite what some people will tell you. So you just need to sit down. What I would get you to ask yourself is how much free time, well, not free time, how much time do you actually have to spend on engagement or on Instagram, and be really honest about it. So I spend 15 minutes a day, 3 days a week, because those are my working days. Sometimes I do more than that, but that is my consistency. That's what I commit to doing every single week. So 15 minutes, it's not a massive amount of time. The reason I do that is because I'm really busy and I have a lot of things to do. So ask yourself how much space you have in your calendar to be able to do it, and be really realistic about it. When I ask how much space you have in your calendar, I am not saying fill your lunch break, because that is not space. That is booked out for your lunch break, or it should be booked out for your lunch break. So think about how much time you actually have and be realistic with it. Like, don't overcommit, because if you do, you will soon start to resent it, basically. So start small. Like I said, I do 3 days a week, 15 minutes a time. Most of the time I do more than that, but that is my absolute baseline. So yeah, first action, decide how often you want to engage for and for how long each time. Then the second action, block out a little bit of time, maybe 30 minutes to half an hour. Could be less than that actually, but say 30 minutes to half an hour, and identify good accounts to engage with depending on your objective. So think about who you actually want to engage with and create a little collection of them. In your, if you save a post, Instagram gives you the option to add them to a collection, which is basically just folders that you categorize them into. So save them into there, identify good accounts to engage with, depending on your objective and what you want to do, and save them into a folder so that when you come to engage, you've decided how long you're going to spend on it, you come to do it, and you can go off and do it really purposefully. And then the final action for engagement is actually to book some time into your diary to do it and set a timer when you do. So you've decided how often you're going to do it and how long for. Actually put that in your calendar or as a reminder somewhere, whether that's in Asana, Trello, any other project management tool, or your calendar or whatever it might be. Put it in the calendar and actually prioritize it. So don't just say, oh, I'm going to do it X amount of times a week for this amount of time. Actually put it in, because then it also helps you see whether it's realistic or not. So yeah, like I said, I mean, I did go off a little bit there about engagement because, like I said, it is something I'm very passionate about. If you do want to know more about that, go and listen to the full episode I did in it that is linked in the show notes, and you will learn loads more from that. Some of what I touched on there, but loads more. I go into lots more detail. Okay, so the next mistake that I quite often see people making is using links wrong. So basically it's about, and I know some people say, oh, it doesn't matter because this is an easy link to remember, and you could argue that, but being able to link to something is really helpful. But you want people to be able to click on it. You need to make it relevant to the platform that you are on, because especially with Instagram, you can on a desktop, but the majority of people aren't using a desktop. You can't even copy and paste it. So you want to be able to link to it. So for example, on Instagram, a link and a caption as it stands, I really would love if Instagram made this one of the changes. You know why they're making all their changes? If they could do something useful and make links clickable, that would be wonderful. But at the moment, a link and a caption is totally useless. You can't click on it or copy and paste it. Like I said, you can on a desktop, but most people don't use it on a desktop, so I'm not hearing that excuse. It just doesn't do anything. So it's not worth putting in there because you're just going to frustrate people. The better thing to do is in your caption, direct people to where the link is. So whether that's in your bio or using a link sticker in your stories. But yeah, think about how links work on Instagram and think about where you can use them. So some actions that you can take. I don't include links in a caption. You can't click or copy and paste them. Instead, put a call to action to direct them to the place where they can use a link. So it might be that you pay for an automation to do this. So there's automations out there. There's one called ManyChat that I've used before. And when people comment a certain word, your call to action can be comment this word. And then the link will be sent to them in their DMs, because DMs, you can click on a link. That's a place you can click on a link. And then your call to action can be comment on this post with this word if you've got that set up, or if you want to do that manually. But I think I have seen people doing that, but I think that's quite time consuming. And also you run the risk of people getting annoyed because like with an automation, it's instant, whereas they've got to wait for you to come on to be able to then send them a link, and that can be quite time consuming. So I wouldn't really advise that. ManyChat is pretty reasonably priced. I will link to it in the show notes if you want to go and check it out, but you don't need to use ManyChat. You can link to it in stories and things like that. So don't include it in your caption. You can't click or copy and paste them, but use your caption to direct them to the place where your link is. And that leads me to my second action. On stories, use a link sticker. Don't direct people to link in bio. You can direct people to link in bio in your caption, but on your stories, don't direct them to link in bio because you're just making them go somewhere else again. You can use a link sticker. That is available to everybody now. You can copy and paste a link in there. You can customize what it says on there, and you can use it. So if you have a post that... this is another mistake I see lots of people making on Instagram, actually, is not sharing their post to their stories, because it's a great way to get better reach. Make sure you share that post to your stories and include the link sticker on it so people can just click straight off your stories. And either there's different ways that you can do this. The third action is create a useful links page on your website, Linktree or Canva for your link in bio. Now, Instagram does let you have up to 5 links on your link in bio now, which is brilliant. So I'd probably advise if you're going to use something like Linktree or Canva, maybe just using those 5 links would be better. But the best way that I would say to do it, if you've got a website, is to create the page on your website, because you're driving traffic to your website. Now, if you go to my link in bio, so if you go to my profile page, you can check my link in bio to see what my links page looks like. It is super simple. It's not complicated. If you've got a website, I really recommend doing it, because driving traffic to your website is a really good thing. However, if you don't have a website, you can use up to 5 links on Instagram's link in bio, and you can use things like Linktree or Canva if you want to make it look pretty. It's totally up to you. But create a space, include a link on your profile where people can click through to then go to the various different things that they want or need. So yeah, don't include links in a caption. You can't click or copy and paste them. On stories, use a link sticker. Don't direct people to link in bio. So if you're talking about somewhere that people can link to on your stories, use a link sticker, use the features that are available to you. And then if people are going to your bio, create a useful links page, whether that be on your website, Linktree or Canva, or using the 5 links that are available to you through Instagram. So yeah, make sure you are using links in the best way to get people to actually click on them, because remember, Instagram's priority is to keep people on the platform for as long as possible. So it is hard to get people to click a link. You don't want to make it harder for them. Okay, so my final mistake that I see lots of businesses making is not utilizing their insights. Insights are available to you through your profile page. So when you go on your profile page, sometimes it can be labeled slightly differently, but it either says insights or analytics or professional dashboard. I think it's the most common one. You can also, if you use schedulers, you can use insights as well. But even if you don't, you can get it through your profile page. So everyone that has a business account has access to them. And they are packed with valuable information about your followers and your content. And knowledge is power. So knowing who your followers are, when they're online, and what content they like to engage with will allow you to create content strategies and plans to suit their needs. It will also allow you to spend less time creating content. So you don't always have to create new content. You can go back through and see what's worked really well in the past and repurpose some content. It is so valuable. Instagram's insights allow you to break it down by people who have liked it, saved it. I don't think at the moment it lets you look at who shared it, but it lets you break down to the thing that you are looking at. So if you want to create posts that people save, you can filter it right down to the posts that have had the most saved, and you can see what people respond to. It's a really interesting thing to do. And I recommend doing it fairly frequently anyway. On the professional dashboard now as well, you can also get access to, these aren't your insights, but it gives you access to insights about Instagram more widely, and the content that your audience is engaging with. So there's trending reels, topics, all that kind of thing. So look at your professional dashboard and use it. Use it to save yourself time. Use it to know what your audience are looking at and interacting with and liking. Sometimes I use it to see a post that I thought was absolutely brilliant and didn't perform that well, to give it another go and to try it in a different format. So I might have done it as a single image, and I might try it as a reel or a carousel, or I might try it in the same format but just change the colors. And I've done this before with a quote post that I absolutely loved, and it got crickets. Like nothing happened. It was just pure tumbleweed. And then I posted it again and it absolutely flew. So sometimes you can do it like that. It doesn't always have to be to perform what's best, but make sure you are making the most of your insights. So some actions you can take around this is go check out your insights, just go and have a look at them and play about with it to see how it works. Find out who your followers are and if they are your target audience. Find out when they're online so that you know the best time to post. If you've got access to insights like that, maybe that's for a scheduler that can give you a few more advanced insights. The scheduler that I use is Metrical. Again, I will link to that in the show notes if you want to go and check it out. But like I said, you don't have to be using a scheduler. Instagram also has all its own insights. And obviously, like I said earlier, Instagram are trying to keep you on the platform, and their insights are improving all the time. Like I said, they've just created this tips and hints and inspiration thing of other people's content as well that you can check out. So maybe we'll see that get even more advanced in the future as well. And check your best performing content and your worst performing content and save it to repurpose later. So your best performing content you can reuse, knowing that your audience loved it. Your worst performing content, you can have a look at it and think, I think that deserves to do better, and I'm going to try it again, maybe in a different format or the same format, but give it a go and see what happens. But utilize your insights to, like I said, knowledge is power, to give you that power, but it's also a really valuable tool to save you time as well. So there you go. Those are the top 5 simple mistakes. And I think they are simple mistakes because most of them have pretty easy solutions when you know what you need to do, that I see small businesses make on Instagram. And more importantly, it's also giving you the actions you need to take to avoid them. So that's it for this week's episode. I relatively kept to keeping it quick and short, but yeah. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you take any of the actions. I'd absolutely love to hear from you. And I would love it if you could go and give the show a review too. Before you go, if you love this podcast and you're a woman running a small business who wants to make social media easier and business life less lonely, I've got something for you. The Boss Your Socials Club is here to bring you inspiration, accountability, confidence, and community. It's a place where we ban the word should because we believe in a bespoke advice that will work for you, your stage of life, and your business. As a member, you'll get a clear content plan every month, ready-to-use templates, and the accountability to actually show up. Plus, you'll have expert support and a community of incredible women who get it, want to give you advice, and want to cheer you on. Think of it like having a teeny tiny social media marketing expert in your pocket, giving you the knowledge and the assurance when it comes to posting great, engaging content on your social media platforms and showing up in a way that grows your business without the overwhelm. It's just £24 a month and you can join anytime. Head to www.beheardsocials.com/bossyoursocials to find out more and sign up now.